Attention on this channel. We've got an important message. All observations and opinions shared here are for educational purposes only. This content is intended for adults. Viewer discretion is advised. Be advised that any individuals mentioned are not intended to suggest involvement in any crime.
Case by case, got the fire.
Ha!
Yo, you wanna talk about true crime? We start with the data flows. Digital footprints meet criminal defense, that's how the story goes. This channel's all about online evidence, the stuff they overlook. From live stream chats to deleted posts, it's all in the true crime book. My goal is to provide insight for the attorney in the darkest hour, to find the proof that can make a case or break a criminal's power. So whether you're a lawyer or a PI, we're diving deep in the mess, exposing misconduct and hidden truths to get to the very best leads. We break it down case by case, on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
Case by case.
What's the motto? We're here for the victims, the ones who were left behind. We're here for the families, giving them peace of mind. We follow the paper trail, the digital footprints and the timelines, connecting the dots, we're reading between the lines. We don't just talk theory, we show you how it works in practice. We're here to help you stay ahead of the curve, to get a new analysis. You think you're in charge, but we're here to find what matters most. We're giving a voice to the voiceless, like a digital ghost. Digital ghost, digital ghost. We break it down case by case, on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
Case by case.
What's the motto? From digital clues, the mystery, you wanna know the answers? We're dedicated to the chase, from the first look at the scene to the final resting place. We're here to find the answers, to give the victims their due. A true crime channel with a heart and a purpose too. We're here to build up, to expose the truth, and to shine a light on the darkest of deeds with all our might. We're here for the truth, we're here for the facts, and that's it. We don't chase the trends, we just chase the truth and never quit. We let the past speak for itself, we let the facts lay the ground. We're just here to be a voice, a tribute that is sound. Yeah, it's all for the truth. All for the truth.
Ha! Come on, come on. Let's go.
Their thoughts for you, yeah. Won't kiss the ring. Yeah. Ha. Come on. Let's go.
Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Case by Case. Welcome into chat. Welcome to the Delphi Vault, episode 28. Holy cow, 28 of these, and we are still going strong. Let me apologize last week for the quick, short notice of my cancellation. For those of you who waited around for me, I'm so sorry. I didn't, on my end, I couldn't see the link up because I deleted it, or at least I thought I did, so I apologize. But I had some things going on with information behind the scenes in the channel, and so I want to apologize for that. But anyway, hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you're having issues with, Candy says we mad. I know some people were mad, but you know what? I'm glad that I did, because we are much more, we have a jam-packed show for you today. Loose ends is what our theme is going to be for the topic today. We're going to go over a wide range of things that a couple things are new that we've not discussed before. Some things are reviewing some things that still don't add up and make sense. I have some things to go over. Quester has some things to go over, and Fungi has some things to go over. But if you're having trouble getting notifications from this channel, because YouTube apparently has been slacking with that, you might want to turn off your notifications and then turn them back on, and it might implement a reset for that. Ooh, lemon cranberry muffins, Fig. That sounds amazing. Yeah, as you can see, we are pretty much snowed in here. Sweatshirt again, hair in a bun, not doing anything but this today. And let me bring Quester and Fungi on. Hello, Quester. How are you?
Hello, Amy. Hello, everyone. Nice to be back again.
Yes, it is. Let me add Fungi to the stage. Fungi, you're muted. Unmute yourself and say hello.
What up?
Really quick, too, just going forward for the next couple of weeks until we get past the holidays, the vault will probably be on Sundays for a while, simply because I don't know what my work schedule is going to bring. And I know I would not be working on a Sunday unless I'm mandated. So just wanted to throw that out there as well. Anywho, we have a lot to go over today. Anything that you guys want to say to the chat before we get started?
No.
I apologize if I ask you to repeat something a little bit. I'm on my computer for the first, well, I guess maybe the second time in like 3-4 years. So I'm still working on getting my microphone and my ear. I'm using a volume mixer, and it's not fun right now. So yeah, let's put it that way.
You're fine. You sound good. So,
yeah, well, you sound like a robotic tin man. I'm still trying to fix this.
Do I sound okay to the chat? Everybody in chat,
Sounds
can you let me know?
Yeah.
I do. So then it's Fungi. Sounds good. Okay, perfect.
What'd you say? Oh shit! One sec. I fucked it up again.
It's you. It's not us.
What'd you say?
I said it's your end.
I cannot hear anything at once. Fuck.
She's having issues.
Yeah.
You can mute you if you need to mute yourself so you can rant and rave. You can.
Dude, I'm like getting every other word. So you guys just talk. I'm gonna try to fix this by the time we need me.
Okay.
If there are any interesting, if there are any questions, I will. Yeah, I should sound good, but yeah, no, it's a little bit different than wiggling the get it with woman. What? Okay.
She says.
I will. No,
Critical thinker says, "Come on, Fungi, get
I don't
with
know
it,
what this
woman."
means. Oh, I thought you said get it with. I thought you said get it with woman. I'm like, what's woman doing here? Because we have a user that's woman doing ...
Yeah, she changes it all the time.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, it is kind of it's my sound output device. I used to stream with this, and I don't have a headphone jack cord that's long enough to actually reach my my PC itself. So I'm trying to fix it how it used to be. It used to be beautiful, but now it's like she's gargling like robot balls. It's funny.
That I am not doing. Okay, we're going to get started. So let me pull up my presentation, and we'll go halfway through that because the second half is part of Fungi's presentation. So let's see, where do I want to go first? Oh, I know. Something that I know, Quester, I haven't shared this with you yet, and I think you'll be excited to see it. So let me pull up, if you guys remember, this circulated a while back, the CAD. This is from, oops, let me take the comment down so you guys can see it. This is where we discovered, and let me go to it really fast. Okay, up here at 22:36:50. These are the events that took place on the 13th, by the way. So if you guys remember, we went over this probably in the early teens of the vault, where we had this, it's a unidentified caller that it's been blackened out. And she called in to advise she was traveling southbound on the Heartland around 1 p.m. And she had went under the bridge, and there were 4 kids, possibly all girls, running in the left southbound lane. They were all in sweatshirts. They ran to the main street exit, turn, and one sat in the middle of the road. The others pulled her up off the ground, and they started walking southbound. Advised, looked like to be one of them looked like they were wearing a big coat. So Quester had put a map together a while back showing where we thought this took place. However, we don't know how this group of 4 girls around 1 o'clock would have been down on the Hoosier Heartland Highway, then seen again up on the old Red Railroad Bridge when at 1:46, when Betsy Blair claimed that she saw them on that bridge. So while we were in Delphi, I videotaped how I believe these 4 girls. So let's just hypothetically say this is either a different group of 4 girls, or we weren't told the whole story, because this 1 o'clock witness really screws up Rayleigh Voorhees and Bree Wilbur and them's timeline. How are they down on the Hoosier Heartland Highway taking a photo, or how are they down on the highway at 1 o'clock taking a photo on the bench at 1:26 and then on the railroad bridge at 1:46 when Betsy Blair goes under it? And we know that they arrived at Freedom Bridge at about 12:25, according to Bree Wilbur's photo that she took of the Freedom Bridge. Then they walked all the way to the Monon High Bridge. And it's still very confusing if they went down the right-hand side of the Monon High Bridge. I guess in 2017 that could have been possible, going all the way down to the creek from the right side of the bridge. I can tell you that now in 2025, that doesn't seem to be possible. It appears that hill and that pathway is kind of eroded. And so Hardin Holly, is that a question? They were seen, according to this caller who called in, and law enforcement put this in their CAD report, that this caller called in to report she's seen 4 girls down on the Hoosier Heartland Highway. And we were confused, like, how could they get down? Is there a gate or something that they could get down to the highway from the trail system? Well, I found it. And this to me seems to be the only way they could have done it. Right. So, I mean,
to the bridge and then walk this way.
Well, she said they went towards Main Street. So what you're saying is Bree and Rayleigh and them could have, if we're dealing with the same group of 4 girls, they take a photo back here on the trails at 1:26. They're leaving the trail. They claim they pass a man, and then they go down this hill over here, down onto the freeway, where but see, that doesn't work, because the caller that tipped that in said that she saw the 4 girls at 1 o'clock, around 1 o'clock. So that's a half hour before they take the photo on the bench. And before they take that photo on the bench, they're taking photos out of the Monon High Bridge.
Okay.
So we got the 4 girls that are down here that are reported around 1 o'clock. Then you've got the 4 girls that are seen down there on the railroad bridge. So if Bree and Rayleigh and them are the same 4 girls, It's impossible. They couldn't have gone down here, been seen, and then gotten back up over there, but they would have had to have come back up this way. Sorry guys, so what would be the point of them going down to the freeway and then coming back up?
What about Lana and Collier?
Sorry, the wind out there that day is really windy, so it makes the video sound choppy. But what I'm looking for is a way the girls could have gotten down to the freeway. And again, it completely destroys the timeline that Rayleigh and Bree gave. So was this a different group of girls? And is this a group of girls that Rick Allen claimed he saw earlier? Because it makes no sense. Emily Collier is not speaking, and Shaboogie's got a hold of one of the other ones, and she really didn't have anything significant to say. She said that, yeah, they were here, they didn't really see anybody, and they left and went to City Park to play basketball. But when I asked Emily Collier about it, she said, I'm not discussing that, and blocked me. So where do you say there's a way to get down?
So, like where these rocks are, it's going to be, see right here, all that concrete right there?
Uh-huh.
So there's also an opening on this side.
So that's a tunnel underneath this path?
So you could come off the highway, go through there, and come up right here.
But they would have had to have gone through all of these weeds? I don't think so.
Not in February, though.
Yeah. To get down here? I see. Okay, so they could have, if they were being stupid teenagers, they could have came down here, went through here. I'm going to go down here. So they could have, oh, I see. Yeah, they could have walked right through here. They could have walked right through here. But there's a fence there. Yeah, there's a fence here now. So the four girls we're just being hypothetical. And this is definitely up Quester's alley about these four girls and being seen out here on the freeway. There is a path right here. Good catch, April. That takes you right out to the freeway where that person at 1 o'clock claims she saw four girls. And they could have turned, but that caller said they started walking towards Main Street, which is that road straight ahead. Because the next person who says they see four girls is Betsy Blair, who claims to have seen them on top of the railroad bridge. So the interesting thing about the girls being down on the freeway is when you walk over when you go back up and you walk over to the railroad bridge, there is absolutely no way to get from the highway or Main Street going towards that railroad bridge. You cannot get back up there. The only way those girls would have been able to be on the railroad bridge is if they came back through that tunnel, went back up to the trailhead at Freedom Bridge. So what did you think of that, Quester?
I knew the tunnel was there, but it's nice to see it.
Yeah, that was interesting. I just don't see how that would be. Bree Wilbur and them never said anything about going down onto the freeway.
No, so, it can't be the same group. Simple as that.
No, they can't. And that means that there was another group of girls, at least 4 girls, that were out there that we aren't really aware of. Because the other group, the Emily Collier group, is a 3-girl group, which also I think might be the group that Rick Allen saw. I don't understand why the defense didn't use it either. So let me pull up my presentation. We're going to go over a few things, and then Quester is going to get into his diagrams that he has for us today. So we're going to start with this right here. I went back and found these images that were released very early on in 2017. These were 3 different images that were cleaned up by ISP. They released 2, and then they put out a new one. They were trying to like show you this individual's walking, like his stance. To the right is a photograph of Rick Allen that Kathy Allen posted November 28th, which was 2 months and 2 weeks before the murders. And I spelled murders wrong. I left out the R. Silly me. But look at Rick Allen's posture and his body structure. And notice that he's clean shaven. And he's got a buzz cut. So to me, this right here is a very clear picture that this man on the left-hand side, the bridge guy, physically doesn't even resemble Rick Allen. What do you think, guys? What do you think, Quester?
No, I don't think it resembles him at all. The problem with these pictures of bridge guy is that they've been meddled around with so much. They've been making the person fat, skinny, tall, short. You don't even know which one's the real one now. Right.
Yeah, this picture, it's just it's his body structure alone. And the way he holds his head, and he does seem to have a little bit of a beer belly there, which it hangs low. So Carly Evans says, how you cannot see that is Ron Logan. You're either blind or completely brainless. I'm still up in the air. To me, it could very well be Ron Logan. And there's one reason why. One of the things about the bridge guy image is when you zoom in on his ball cap, and you can clearly see an indentation at the top of the ball cap. There are photographs of Ron Logan with that same colored ball cap on, with that same indentation at the top of the hat. It's almost like a crease that just won't go away. So Sees Through says, so Rick took enough notice of the group to notice the black hair, that they looked like sisters, and tell his wife they were weird, yet never mentioned in court that the witnesses were not who he saw. Correct. And I don't believe that law enforcement ever talked to those 3 girls. Now, I know that there's other girls that were out there at a different time, and they were talked to, but the Mata girl, Emily Collier, and them were not talked to. Carly, I have no idea about Rick Allen didn't have the blue coat till 2018 or 19, plus it's not him. Correct. That is absolutely correct. I believe that Kathy Allen still has the receipt from when she purchased that blue jacket. And we all know that this blue jacket on Bridge Guy doesn't even have the Carhartt logo on the front of it like Rick's jacket does. I don't believe that was even pointed out at trial. So
you can actually see one glaring difference from these pictures you've got. If you look at the noses, you can see on BG it's distinctly a long nose.
And it's a bulb nose too. It's like he's got a thicker nose.
Quite a shade under it, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Quite a shadow underneath it. You look at the Callens, Nothing like it.
No. So let me move on here. Going back through some old digging out of screenshots. I found one where somebody close to the case had spoken with FBI, and they made a post about the FBI says the bullet was unrelated to the case. They said it has been in the elements for a while and was most likely a law enforcement round. That backs up what we talked about a couple weeks ago on here with the guy who auctioned off Ron Logan's guns for Ryan Logan to save his dad's property. If you remember this from this post here, he claimed that he contacted law enforcement when he received the stockpile of guns from Ryan Logan, and he wanted to make sure, because he was told that Ron Logan was a suspect, he wanted to make sure it was okay to sell the weapons. And he was told by law enforcement that there was no gun used in the crime. So he was free to auction off all of the weapons, which also further explains why in the Ron Logan search warrant, they never said anything about a bullet. They weren't looking for a .40 caliber. They didn't say anything about a weapon in the search warrant. That's public. So that's just a loose end right here. That's never really been followed up on top of, we have some issues with, we know based on some of the supplemental reports that I have, that on the 15th, when law enforcement attended the autopsy, they were told, and it's written in the report for the supplemental report, I think I've gone over it on this channel before, where he says they found a phone and a bullet at the crime scene. That was stated in the report that was written, that he was told that while he was at the autopsies, which the autopsy was on the 15th. So we have that, but we just don't know exactly when that supplemental report was written. I'd have to go back and look at that date, because oftentimes officers will wait weeks before they go back and write their report. Hi, Mother of Dragons, it's okay. But then we also have Barbara McDonald, who we know was very well versed in how the sticks were laid on the victims. Because after the Franks memo came out and she went on court TV, she drew out what she was shown in a drawing of how the sticks were laid. So we know that she had information directly from law enforcement, because we didn't have the first images of how those sticks were laid out came from Barbara McDonald on court TV. And then I have also played a video on here in a previous vault of Barbara McDonald on court TV explaining that she was told by law enforcement that the bullet was not recovered at the crime scene on the 14th, that they had to go back and reseal the crime scene, and that's when they collected the bullet. So those are loose ends that don't seem to add up. And if we have the FBI telling someone close to the case that the bullet had been out in the elements for a long time and it wasn't related, then, there's one more reason for the FBI to have been kicked off the case. Yeah, and Elise, you're right. We were told for years that the video was scary and showed a crime happening, and we finally get to see it, and we don't think we see a crime in progress. Not to mention, you don't hear what law enforcement took the stand at trial and claimed was said, that be a gun. That is absolutely not said. So moving on, This was an interesting set of screenshots. For those of you who don't know who Eric Alter is, he is somebody that has kind of been on my radar for a little while. Well, actually for a while. And I have yet, and maybe somebody can tell me, I have yet to figure out his connection to Ron Logan. But Eric Alter was definitely an individual that Tina Rodell named as being part of the group that may have picked up her daughter on the morning of the 12th. Well, whoops. Okay, let me pull something up here really quick. I'm going to share something here with you guys really quick. So if anybody knows, hey Rafi, if anybody knows, it's his uncle. Ron Logan is his uncle, because I've spoken to Ron Logan's ex-girlfriend and she doesn't know who he is, which I found to be very strange. But this is Eric Alter. He has a YouTube channel and he posts videos, says Deer Creek from Uncle Ron's farm. And he's showing himself out there in the woods on the Monon High Bridge Trail, and this is in 2016. So who said it? So you think that Ron Logan is Eric Alter's uncle? And Rafi says he is friends with Brad Holder. How do you know that, Rafi? So, which that does make sense, because he has a video. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, he says Deer Creek from Uncle Ron's farm. And I've shown all of this. It says Mom at Uncle Ron's farm. And I remember showing this. And she didn't know who this woman was. So if you guys want to go to his channel, it's Eric Alter, and it's titled, his YouTube channel is called Pink Panties. So there's that. But anyway, here's some screenshots from Eric Alter and a comment that he makes. And after I read this, I'm going to tell you something that I've not said before on here, because there's some things that were kept quiet for a little while. So Eric Alter was asked, "Good morning. Do you know the name of the man in the pic you posted that is Ron Logan's neighbor and part of the search team? You said he cleaned up the property. We have reason to believe you are correct about him. And he says, I am correct. This was turned in on March 11th. Thanks for the response. You know his name? Sorry, I didn't get to you earlier in Vale skiing. I can't give, I'm assuming he's meaning the name, I can't give or they will F me. He is Ron Logan's neighbor, also a searcher. He went back in the morning, cleaned the scene, and took the cops to the victims. That's what happened here. They effed up bad. So the interesting thing, and I'm going to have, Reese is willing to come back on and do some updates, but Reese, okay, so let me explain to you how this went down. So if you guys remember, I did several interviews with Reese Davis, who is the man who was in prison with Ron Logan. And back in 2017, notified Robert Ives, the original prosecutor in the Delphi case, about Ron Logan confessing and claiming that he used a box cutter. So law enforcement and the prosecutor's office had already been given the idea of a concept of a box cutter being used. Big J, no, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sorry, yes, I did. Thank you. So that was the light bulb aha moment for the defense team at trial, when the medical examiner said on the stand, after years of saying it was two different blades, one a smooth edge and one a serrated blade that was more than likely used in the crime, then all of a sudden on the stand, he says, well, it could have been a box cutter. Well, my theory on that is, one, law enforcement already knew about Ron Logan stating that he used a box cutter. However, that whole concept might have been refreshened in Nick McClelland's brain during the trial, because Reese Davis was writing Nick McClelland during the trial. So, that was how it was. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Michelle is always our giver. So somebody new in chat's going to get a membership. It's a gift from Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. So anyway, if you remember correctly, after the, hang on one second, guys. Hang on one second. Sorry, the doggy wanted in the room. So right after all of this went down, after the motion to correct error came out that Michael Osbrook wrote, we found out that Reese was yanked out of the cell block he was in. They were separating him from Keegan Kline. Well, when they yanked him out and they put him in solitary confinement, he was in solitary confinement for, I think, over a month. But they took all of his belongings, all of his notes, all of his court documents and everything. Well, he just recently got those back. And he had notes that he had taken that he still had in his paperwork that he had taken during his conversations with Keegan Kline. And he called me not long ago. That's why I found this screenshot even more relevant now than before, was because he claimed that Keegan said that Ron Logan, they were giving a burner phone to one of Ron Logan's neighbors who lived within walking distance, because Keegan said this person walked to Ron Logan's house to get the burner phone. And there might be more to the story. I don't remember exactly, so I'm not going to say anything else about that. But that's why I included this little loose end, because this makes a lot of sense now. And I'm wondering who that neighbor would have been. And I'm just wondering if it was Sandifer, who we know, I believe it's possibly Travis, was in the military with Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall. Was Pat, I don't believe Pat, was it Pat Brown? Was Pat Brown a neighbor that lived within walking distance? I didn't think he lived within walking distance.
No, he
He
didn't.
was classed as a neighbour back then.
He wasn't. He doesn't live that close. Like, I don't think that would be.
No, but he's often referred to as Lon's neighbour.
He refer to himself as that. Yeah, you're right.
I suppose it depends on what you class as a neighbour.
Right. Well, I mean, and when you look at Ron Logan's house, there's only, let me see. I'm looking at the map here really quick.
I have a map.
Yeah, I have.
I remember I sent you that map.
It would have to be. I'm going to look into that further and see if I can pin down, because I know that the one neighbor that lived right directly on the corner there, once you pass Logan's house, they moved. So, and I believe the husband who lived there was in the military. But there's a couple other residents around here, so I'm going to look into those. And Big J might be able to help me out on those too. So, but I thought that's why I included these screenshots. I thought they became relevant. I had to go back and find them because I knew I had read them. But when Reese told me that, I said, holy crap. Okay. Now we're going to talk about another witness that some of you may have heard about from way back in actually February of 2017. I am not disclosing this individual's name. It is a male. He did come forward publicly and make these statements. I have some screenshots showing that. But what he claimed is, okay, first of all, he's a 64-year-old Army vet. He was a witness who was out there to search on the morning of the 14th. And he attempted to go to the Monon High Bridge, but was redirected. Therefore, he went down past Dairy Queen. He drove down past the Dairy Queen on 25 and turned in a lot there behind Pizza Hut. He claimed a man came walking out and no one else was around. They made eye contact, and as soon as they did, the man immediately bent over and acted as if he was tying his shoe. The man would not look up for an unusual amount of time. Then with his head down, went to a black truck and opened the door. And he was acting as if he was waiting for the witness to leave. So I'm going to show you why I think this is significant. Okay, look, you're either going to be in or out, one of the two, because we're not playing this in and out all day. Go. I think my Yorkie just likes to boss me around to see if I'll do what she says. I do. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you guys where this actually is. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So let me make this big. So when I make it big, it doesn't let me work like that. Okay. Okay, so here is, let me take us back to, we are in 2017. So here's the Pizza Hut and the Dairy Queen. So this witness would have parked in here, and either, I'm not for sure which lot it would have been that he pulled into. But what's interesting is right here behind the Pizza Hut is the road that takes you down to the suspended bridge, the bicycle bridge right here. And I think we can do there we go. So that's bicycle bridge right there. And you go over the bicycle bridge. And once you go over the bridge, you follow the path here and you turn left. When you turn left, guess where that takes you?
Your mom's.
Yeah. It takes you right out to Sunset Point. So if this person walked out from that area, from Sunset Point, why do I feel like my thing is turned around here? Hold on. There we go. So there's a road right here where you can turn left, and this road takes you, it's in between this tree line here, takes you right out here to Sunset Point. Okay. Now, if you guys have been watching the transparency series that I did with the Patrick Westphal screenshots from the ex-wife, this area and another area over by catty corner from the CPS building are areas where Patrick Westphal used to camp. So if this person walked out or walked down the road, this is the morning around 11:30 on the 14th. This person would have crossed the bicycle bridge and cut through this path here, and he could have come out right here by Pizza Hut or over here towards Dairy Queen. Either way, he still would have come over that suspended bridge to get there and cut through the woods. I'm wondering, I mean, is it possible that bridge guy never left the woods that night? He hid out. Thoughts? Anybody?
That would make a lot of sense. I mean, other than Sarah Carbaugh, but I don't really think about Sarah Carbaugh a whole ton.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers, especially when Baldwin called her out about at trial. Her first two interviews, the guy was muddy, 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 muddy. And then like 2 years later, he was muddy and bloody. And one of the first things that she said when she took the stand was that she knew the girls were missing that night because she got an Amber Alert. And there was no Amber Alert issued for the girls because they didn't fit the criteria. So I think that she embellished her story. And I honestly wonder if around 4:00, if she happened to maybe see Mike Patty, because her sketch does look an awful lot like Mike Patty. And it seems like the Mears lot was full of people. And I'm wondering if Mike Patty was out on 300 walking, maybe parked his truck on 300 because the Mears lot was full. So there's that loose end. And here is this witness making statements. He's posting, damn it. Hold on a minute. He's posting. Now see, my blackout shit's not working here. I'll read these to you. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait a minute. No, I can do this. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I was completely prepared, and now all of a sudden I am. There we go. Let me just share my screen and I can pull this up here. You know, it's so frustrating when you spend all morning and you think you've got everything ready to go and you don't. Okay. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, so he's
Yeah, sorry.
he's making statements on Facebook. These messages were sent on February 20th of 2017. He said, I left my name and number with the dispatcher Tuesday afternoon. Now, Tuesday afternoon, I believe, would have been either the day before, what, 17? I mean, what's the, let me see, 14. So yeah, this would have been, I believe this would have been on the 14th that he actually called in. If he's making this statement on the 20th. He said, I left my name and number with the dispatcher Tuesday afternoon. Guy said he would forward it information to the detectives. Is there anything else I can assist you with? If need be, I will return to Delphi tomorrow and go directly to the police station. The person responds and says, I think that would be a good idea. I think you need to tell your account in person and tell them, and then it was cut off. Well, now that you ask, I went out to Highbridge as I've never been there before. Took me a while to find the place, but I did, and a cemetery. I walked across the bridge, and about 20 feet from the end, a DNR officer and police officer meeting and questioned me on what I was doing. Then he goes on to say, this is January 23rd of 2018. He says, I have talked to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I've talked to the local police. If I told you what I saw, and I did in this conversation, you can believe me. When I saw that guy, the suspect's picture had not been released. I told officers all of the information as I remember. Listen, I don't take this lightly and no one should. Let's get this guy behind bars. And this witness claimed that the man that he saw was dressed like the guy that was released in the photograph. Let me check chat again here. Mother of Dragon says she believes the girls were taken from the area on the spot, brain freeze. I'm not sure what that's in regards to. Assume that is exactly why the whole video was withheld for so many years. It shows nothing. I agree. Keith says, I also to think the killer exactly walked down 300 is insanity. When you're actually there, it's a wide open space and you are insanely exposed. Absolutely. I don't buy any of the Carbaugh state theories. Me, neither. I think maybe they were right there the whole time, hidden. Possibly. Well, Fungi has some interesting information for you guys today to give you a better idea on that. Okay, so let me pull this back up. Oh, all right. That's all that I wanted to present as far as loose ends go. Now we are going to turn it over to Quester for a little bit. And let me see here. I need to find number one. There's number one. Quester has created these because he has some loose ends that have bugged him for quite a while now, and we're going to talk about those. Go ahead, Mr. Quester.
Okay. Excuse me. What's been bugging me for a long time is impossibilities. There's an awful lot of them in this case, but the phone list shows some pretty glaring ones. What I've done on this first one is at the top, I've shown all the Apple Health data, the location data, all that sort of stuff. And I've mapped it out when and where. And as you can see, at certain times, there was quite a lot going on. Snapchats and device interactions, all sorts of things, such as 1351, 1405, and so on. Well, on a cursory glance, yeah, it looks fine. But if you look a little bit closer, there's things that just cannot add up. The main thing, I think we've said, well, I know we've said it before, is the situation of the phone taking a picture at the north end of the High Bridge at, was it 2:05, Amy? She's gone.
It was, so, no, I'm here. It was, okay, so that photo was taken at 2:05 and 10 seconds. But at 2:05 and 8 seconds, she's clear. The phone is, the geolocation on the phone is still a 3-minute walk away from the Monon High Bridge. So she went in 2 seconds. The other thing that I want to throw in here while you're talking, Quester, too, is, mind you guys, and this is factual, there are Snapchat events that were occurring in the phone data that were not included in Bunner and Cecil's reports. They only included certain events that aligned with the state's narrative. But there were additional events that took place from the time the girls were gotten out of the car until the 2:13 video. So there's, and I don't know, Quester, if you have those times added on here. Those are the ones that I
have
sent
some
you.
of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yep. Yeah, I've got them in as well, I believe. But the main thing is all these times show that it's absolutely impossible for the phone that took the 2:05 photograph to have been held by a person who was standing back on the trails at exactly the same time. And the only way that that can be explained is by saying two phones. But then standing back on the phone, that location was registering on Libby's phone, same as this 2:05 one. The only way that can happen is if both phones were using the same Snapchat account, e.g. Libby's. Yeah? And so we have two phones using the same account traveling down the trails and across the bridge. This isn't the only time that we hit this problem. If I can go through some of the points I've made. Between 13:44:23 and 14:05:08, the found phone did not move. It stayed still. It remained on the trail about 300 meters away from the High Bridge.
Quester, if you hang, I will pull that up really quick because I do have it mapped out exactly where you're talking about here.
Thanks.
We went over this when we went over all of the phone data. So right here, if you see these are the cell phone locations that were in Cecil and Bunner's reports. So we have the girls on the trail here at 1:51 and 22 seconds. We have them still here in this spot at another timestamp of 1:51 and 50 seconds. And then they're still in that same location at 2:05:08. But then, so look at the distance that they still have yet to travel to get to the bridge. And then here in this area right here, the north end of the Monon High Bridge at 2:05 and 10 seconds, which is 2 seconds later, we have this bridge photo. And Quester has a theory.
Right.
So go ahead, Quester.
Right. First thing I'd say is I've looked closely at that 205 photo, and it was not taken from that position. If you look at it, it was taken from out on the bridge. Check the distances on the platforms. Whoever took that photograph was on the bridge. Right. So anyway, from the point that this person was standing still, 300 meters away from the start of the bridge, the average person walking would have taken approximately 3 minutes, 35 seconds to walk that to the bridge, more to get out to where the phone was taken. If they ran, they could possibly get to that position by 14:06:28. That is still 1.5 minutes after the photo was taken. So it's physically impossible, even if you're a fast runner, to have got to the position to take that photo. Therefore, not only could it not have been the same person standing on the trail, and as it was taking the photo, it could also not be the same phone. There's no denying, therefore, that there are at least 2 phones involved there, and 2 people. Well, yes, we know there's Abby and there's Libby, 2 people.
And V, to answer your question, V, yes, you can have 2 devices logged into Snapchat, but every time 2 devices are logged in simultaneously, the most recent login will overwrite the cache for the previous one, which could also explain why we have, from the time the girls got out of the car, like everything lines up tracking wise of this phone all the way to the Monon High Bridge. Then we don't show them on 300 North and Kelsey pulling up and even stopping and letting the girls out. There's no geolocation. The next geolocation is actually on the trail at 151. But from that point on, that is when all of the phone data starts to go haywire. Like shit doesn't add up. Go ahead, Quester, sorry.
But the point of you can't have 2 people using the same account at the same time. Yeah, I agree. But these location ping ups and the phone were not at the same time. So they didn't overlap. Possibly there's other stuff as well that we don't know about that did overlap. But this data that we've got here did not overlap. So it is quite possible for phone A to have been standing on the trail, using Snapchat for whatever, and creating the GPS location points, then that photograph being taken. It is quite possible. Very close, but it is quite possible for that to happen.
Maybe the girls split up. Maybe one stayed back and one walked ahead.
That's what I believe. One of them stayed back, one went up ahead.
So if Betsy Blair saw Abby and Libby on the trail, she saw them
just before the 2 split up.
Correct. But what was the time that it was stated that Betsy Blair saw the young bridge guy? Wasn't that closer to 2 o'clock?
There was no specific time given, but working the times, it works out to 1:53 or just after.
Okay, that almost times up perfectly, because she would have turned around and it would have taken her about 3 minutes to get to the location where Abby and Libby would have been, lingering apparently. And that still leaves the young bridge guy with the brown poofy hair still standing on the bridge.
Correct. Right. So if we move on from that, I will come back to different things as we go along. We then get this photograph of Abby on the bridge at 1407. Allegedly 1407:12. Now this, there's absolutely no trace of it on the found phone. There's no trace of it in Libby's Snapchat account, nothing. It was not taken by the found phone. Was it then taken by the other phone, the one that was holding back? Well, I'd say no, because it's got Abby in it, which means it could not have been taken by Abby. It had to be taken by somebody who was further across the bridge. LE say that was Libby. Okay. If we work on that, I'll stick my hands up here and say I don't believe them. But anyway, if we work on that and move them back, we have Libby in front of Abby all the way. That would suggest it was Abby that stood back, not Libby, wouldn't it? Because otherwise, Abby would have had to run extremely fast, half the time running on the bridge to get past Libby. Yeah? Does that follow, Amy?
It sounds good. I'm only hearing every other word that you're saying, though, still, because this is so effed up.
You really must upgrade from a Spectrum 65. But anyway, so to me, we're starting to establish who's got which phone. It seems to me.
One second, Quester. All Eyes is in the chat. Hey, All Eyes. She said there's a 5-meter error radius, though, too. The thing is, my opinion on that is the state, yes, that is correct. But the state can't have it both ways. We can't have complete accuracy before the girls get to the trails, and then complete inaccuracy with all the possibilities of errors. They only show us what they want us to see. That's the problem.
Yeah. And if you remember, the locations on the 12th were almost spot on as well. So we have a whole trail from the 12th all the way through up to this position where these locations have been absolutely on the button. Yeah, there's a 5-meter leeway, but that will then also apply to other things as well then, won't it? But it doesn't. And at some point we've got to say, right, we're talking these positions. Now, the 1407 photo depicts Abby just past platform 3, halfway. Therefore, the person who took the photograph had to be closer to platform 4, 2/3 of the way across. Now, there's approximately 100 feet between platforms, and it takes approximately 25 seconds to walk 100 feet at a normal pace. I'm not sure whether you do a normal pace on that bridge, but we'll go with it. Therefore, if the photographer was the same person as the one who took the 1405, yes, they could have been in place to take that photo. The person who stood back on the trails, however, could not have got to the bridge until 1406 at the very earliest if they ran. That would only leave them 45 seconds to get to where the photographer stood, almost 400 foot away. There's no way they could do it. So we again know that the person who was standing back on the trails did not take either photograph. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Are we still on this one, or do I go to the next one?
Oh, we're still on this one.
Okay.
Where are we? Now, the odd thing we have there is that the found phone not only had the photos and the video, it also had those geolocations from 2 different phones by 2 different people. And as I said, the only way that could happen is if those 2 different phones were using the same account and basically pretending to be the same phone. To do that, they've both got to be on the same account. Yep. So you're saying...
That, I mean, and that kind of aligns with what law enforcement, the state, and the Patties claimed, and that was that Abby had access to the social media accounts on Libby's phone. I do believe that Abby had a phone with her. I'm 100% convinced that she had a phone in her pocket coming across that bridge. You can see it in the BG video. And I've isolated that photograph and circled the phone. It's a dead ringer for a phone. It's not a hand in the pocket. It's a rectangular phone. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, if we can move to page 2.
Okay.
Now, the problem I found here is that even 2 phones will not explain that photograph taken at 2:08. And if the 2 phones won't, we're talking a third one. That's pretty bizarre. The interesting thing is that Baldwin said in an interview that there were 3 phones at the south end of the bridge. Now, keep that at the back of your mind. 3 at the south end. He also said they were all on the same account and none of them were connected to the Patties. As I've said here, using the word Patty, I might be being pedantic, but pedantic works sometimes. Why did he say the Patties and not the family? What about the Germans?
Interesting. Yeah, so I want people to know there's 2 of me because I'm listening on my phone because the audio is not effed up there and I'm talking on my mic in my computer. So it's nice to be able to finally hear you guys.
That's good.
Well, what
I've done,
fun guy, really quick, what you can do is you can log in to StreamYard on your phone and mute your computer and talk on or listen on your phone. Just saying. Go ahead, Quester.
okay, so on this page, what I've done is I've split all of the occurrences, the events, and so on into 3 lines. I've split them in a way that can explain all these events being on phones and how they can have operated and so on. What it's doing is it shows me that at some point Abby and Libby changed phones. That is the only way that the data could be on one phone, because the data would be held in the phone or SIM card. Yeah, I doubt they'd be changing the SIM card in the middle of the woods, but yes, that would work as well. So we have 2 phones being changed. I believe they were changed just after the photograph was taken, the 2:05 one. I've chosen that time because Abby couldn't have got to the position that the other photo, I'm gibbering, that the other phone got to until just after 2:05. So I'm positing that Abby caught up with Libby just after that photo, and that's when they exchanged it. And why would they exchange it? again, I'm positing one battery was getting low. So they changed over and continued with the one that had the decent battery. That would fit all the data, the battery drops, etc. as well. The one with the low battery then, not being used, logically, you'd stick it in your pocket. Abby's pocket. What do we see in the 208 picture, Amy?
Are you talking about the phone in her pocket?
Got it. There's a phone in the pocket.
No. Now, there is, okay. Now this has me really thinking. Because the photograph that I have of Abby with the phone in her pocket is an actual screenshot from the BG video. That's not that
Okay.
photograph is that photograph. So that photograph was taken during the video at 2:13.
Yeah,
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
No worries.
So
But we still have a situation of we can see a phone in her pocket. Yep.
yes. And
Right,
to me, I just, I'm just wondering if Libby had a burner phone herself. Because, sisters can be vindictive. And if Libby was aware over, recent months that Kelsey had been catfishing her or meddling in her accounts, Libby may have been able to obtain a burner phone so no one could see what she was doing. That's just a theory, but the photograph of Abby is from the video that I screenshotted of she's coming. It's right after she says, is he back there or is he coming? And she's got both of her hands in her pockets and her jacket is open and you can see inside the jacket the square phone. And I circled it. I can pull it up. But go ahead, keep going.
Right. Burner phone wise, could well be. We know that there are two phones here, both using Libby's account, and they're both there. So, one could definitely be a burner phone. But we still haven't been able to explain the 208 picture itself. The only way I can explain it is phone number 3. There was a third phone out there that took that picture. In this, I've called it Rogue, the Rogue phone. Now, all we know about it, if it does exist, is that one photograph. But there is one other thing we know, if it does exist. Whoever took it was standing on the bridge ahead of Abby and behind Libby, standing in between the two. When you then look at the video, there's nobody there. It follows that whoever that was holding the Rogue phone must have walked to the south towards Libby before Abby got there. Now, the problem with this is it creates 3 people at the south end. It's created the 3 phones that Baldwin said were there. But as is the astute amongst you will have noticed, 3 phones, one of which is Rogue, yet Baldwin said they were all on the same account.
Wasn't it not connected to the Patties, though?
Right.
No, Baldwin's already knocked that into a what's it cap by saying it's not connected to the Patties. Which
So-
incidentally kills off the idea that it was a spare one of Becky Patties, doesn't it?
Right. And if they know that the 3 phones were on the same account, then they would know whose account it would, who would own it. That's what
Now,
I'm wondering.
the other thing you know from this is Libby's phones that had to be amongst those 3 were not connected to the Patties. So Libby's account was not in the name of or being paid by the Patties. Who was paying it? Who set it up? We don't know. But Libby was using it. And there were 3 phones, apparently, that were using it out there. 2 of which we can explain, and 1 rogue. Now, to use Libby's account would mean that Libby trusted this person very much, especially if this person is out on the bridge with them, taking photographs with them. Libby knew the person, trusted the person, so much so that she shared her account with them. The net sort of gets smaller, doesn't it?
So hold on, let me. I'm pulling up this.
Hey, Amy, will you maybe bring my microphone account into the version of me that has the microphone? My browser crashed.
Well, we're waiting for.
Say that again.
My browser crashed, so I need you to bring back the other version of me back in too. Thank you so much.
Okay, you got to mute it.
All I said, oh, is it okay if, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to double up. All I said that the user accounts weren't all logged in at the same time. They were just associated with the same device. They do know who the accounts are.
Baldwin said they're all on the same account.
No, they were all on at the same time.
They were all on the same account, is what Baldwin said. He didn't say they were all on
at the same time.
They're all being detected at the same time down there. Yes.
But they were associated with the same device. They weren't.
Yeah,
were not
the same
logged
account
in at the same time.
They weren't logged in at the same time. That would explain it.
Mm-hmm. Same account, not necessarily all logged in at exactly the same time.
But it is interesting that clearly there were 3 accounts over there.
Yeah.
Now here's the photograph. Here's the photograph, the screenshot that I took of Abby in the video. And these 2 are of the first 2 are of Abby, of course. Then on the right hand side in the gray is me with my phone in my pocket.
Yep.
To me, that's a phone.
Oh yeah, no, I think without a doubt.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know what else it could be is the thing. Just that size and the way that she's holding it. That's how you hold a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Go ahead. Now, so what I don't think we see is 2 phones in there is kind of interesting, I guess.
Okay, so what we now have is 3 phones at the south end of the bridge and 3 people. Now, can you put up number 3? Amy?
Lester, how sure are we that 3 phones equals 3 people is the thing.
Because as we were going through, those phones are in different positions. The 2 are.
Yeah, but couldn't you just leave one someplace?
Then it wouldn't move.
I don't know why you would, but
No.
Huh.
Then it would stay in that one place, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm repeating things that you've already said. I
No,
only
you-
got like
you
every
think
other
through things.
word like for the last.
If you find
half hour.
something that messes it up, fine. You keep thinking through things. I'm happy with that.
That's dangerous.
No, the idea is to
all
get to
I
the truth,
said
not
that-
to just. Go on, you've always said what?
I'm so sorry that I'm talking over you. It's because I'm dealing with the I'm hearing from a whole different device right now, and I'm talking on a whole different device. So all I said that I split the video frame by frame, and that the original frame doesn't look like that to me. Well, I think I took those screenshots and I took them straight from the video.
I did as well. And at the start of the video, I just put that in chat. I took I was screenshotting as fast as I can. And I wasn't intending to see a phone. I wasn't looking for a phone. I was looking for some better glimpse of BG behind Libby, and then trying to zoom in on his face. And within those series of screenshots, I discovered that image in the pocket. Well, if the extra phones that the girls had were a part of the Patties or the business, but Baldwin says they're not affiliated with the Patties, so I don't know. I don't know about the SIM card being in there and it not having service. I honestly don't know.
It's absolutely. No, you go ahead.
In theory, for example, hold on, let me fix my camera and I'll show you. So in theory, here's my phone that I use on a daily basis. Here's my phone, my old phone. If I take photos, this phone has a SIM card, but I can't take it with me in my car and make a phone call, but it can connect to Wi-Fi. But I carry this phone to take photos. I actually carried this phone with me to Delphi to use to take videos and photos, so I didn't bog down my new phone. But when I take photos on my phone that I use every single day, because these 2 phones are on the same Apple account, the same iCloud account, my photos that I can take a photo on this phone and it will appear in my camera roll on this phone. So being out there, if one phone had a SIM card but no connection, I don't know. I've never attempted to do that outside of like my home. I just know that when I pull up my camera roll on this phone, so like even this right here, these are screenshots that I have from recently that are on my phone that I don't have service on, but the screenshot was taken on this phone. So what I'm saying is that phones that are connected by an account can share certain things simultaneously without having to, say, take a photo on this phone and then send it to this phone. It automatically occurs, if that makes any sense.
Well, it does, and I agree with you entirely.
Yeah, because Apple devices have like their own communication type thing that they don't really even need Wi-Fi. It's technically they use each other as hotspots even.
Criminal Network says, Todd Click explained to me that the Snapchat pic was taken earlier than the video. Correct. Time-wise it was.
Yeah, we don't know the time, but it had to be taken before that.
I wish Todd Click would speak out. I wish he would come forward.
They've really fucked him up with the charges against him. You know, you can't say anything.
I know.
All eyes asked where I was getting this third phone camera from. To explain, we've got two phones that we know of. One that Abby was holding, one that Libby was holding. Now, what tells me there's a third one? Well, we start with the fact that Abby was back on the trails, while Libby was on the bridge. So we know there are those two. Next, we have this 208 photograph, which shows Abby, doesn't show Libby. You might say, well, Libby took the photo. What did she take it with? She didn't take it with the phone 1 or phone 2. So we're stuck with there has to be a phone 3.
And we know
unless
too
the data is simply missing from the Celebrate extract, which we know that there is data that's missing. I mean, I just always want to keep that door open.
Right. And all eyes, you can disagree that you don't think that you see a phone. I see a phone, and I've also raised teenage daughters. And I know for a fact that you cannot have two girls having a sleepover, and you have, for example, this is just my opinion. Libby was very active in the boy category. She was using a lot of nefarious apps, communicating in chat rooms and whatnot. She's communicating with boys. There are nudes being sent, okay? They are not going to sit for hours in a room and one girl hand the other girl her phone and she sit there for however long playing and chatting and texting while the other girl is sitting there without a phone. They're not going to share the phone. They're going, I guarantee you, Abby had a device. She might have been logged in on Libby's accounts, but I believe Abby had a device. And I also believe that the slip ups came early on in this case when they were saying neither girl was answering their phone. You've got Becky Patty claiming Libby had a rose gold iPhone that for some odd reason just simply vanished and we stopped hearing about it. And it wasn't a rose gold iPhone that was found underneath Abby. And it wasn't a rose gold iPhone that was presented in evidence at trial. I believe Abby had a phone. I don't believe that two girls are going to share one cell phone while they're having conversations and communicating back and forth with boys and on social media. No one's going to sit for a half hour or so and let somebody else use their phone like it's their own personal phone. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All Eyes has asked another question, which is a fair one. How do we know those two geolocations are associated with Abby versus Libby? That's a fair question, and I spent some time working on it. First of all, there's 3 geolocations, but that's not the point. The point is, how do we know it's Abby, not Libby? And that is just straight deduction. Abby had to be behind Libby. Obviously, the photograph and so on, unless Abby was an Olympic runner and didn't mind that bridge and would rush past Libby at a phenomenal speed and then rush back again, then she had to be the one behind Libby. Therefore, Abby had to be the one that was staying still and Libby the one that moved forward. So that's how I know it was Abby that was behind. Just straight deduction.
Biggie Fishy, yes. We know from Max Snowberger that Max Snowberger and Abby were exchanging nudes. And if you believe what Keegan Kline told Reese Davis, was that he did receive nudes from Libby.
Now, I suspect that it was not Libby that was sweet on Max, but Abby. That would indeed explain why Abby had got a real moody on just after they went past the Snowberger house, if they'd found that Max wasn't coming, wouldn't it?
That's a good point, and let me pull that up really fast, because we touched on this before, but I never discussed it.
All Eyes did say she asked a really good question. I kind of want to address it. There's regular user account data for Abby on Libby's phone, though. Wouldn't Quester's theory mean that the cast report should have reflected 6 phones instead of 3?
No. To me, Abby would use her own account on Libby's second phone. If you use your own account, you're not using Libby's, so your data would be going to your account, wouldn't it?
Well, what about local storage?
Local storage, I would assume, would go on the phone you're using.
These are theories, guys. We're simply trying to explain or try to understand the inconsistency with the phones. The missing, I mean, it is undeniable that there's issues with the phone data. We're missing the photograph of Abby on the bridge. We have a video that was taken on a phone that, according to all of the information that we can find, the phone was not unlocked to take that video. And you have to do some screwy type of playing around with the iPhone 6 to get it to, it's almost like you have to jailbreak it to get it to record. I know that we have some people with iPhone 6 who says they cannot. We have some people with an iPhone 6 who says they can. But going back to the Snowberger information, if you guys remember back when I think we spent 3 whole episodes going over the phone data, and we had this veering off of the beaten path for the phone pings. As you can see, the phone pings line up perfectly from the Patty's house all the way down here. Can you guys see my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
And
Can you add my other account again? I'm sorry. For some reason, the browser bumped me again.
Yep. 1 second.
Thank you. And I got to go out to Snowblow soon, so I want to get my stuff done, or we can save it for another day.
Oh no, we'll get to it. So anyway, the trail, the phone, the location of the phone times up perfectly on the road, you know, even with the 5-meter error or whatever the case may be. But then we get right here, and remember, I went through all kinds of finding out who owned all of these properties. Well, guess this is the property right here where we said that we believed Kelsey pulled off the road, and we didn't know who it was. Well, Fungi discovered whose it was, and I'll let you tell them.
So this belongs to the Snowberger family, not necessarily Max's parents or anything, but I think it would be his great uncle or grandpa. I'm not really sure. It's in a trust name, so it's kind of a little bit ambiguous, but we do know it is from his line of the Snowberger family. So I don't know where he was that day.
I was told that it was his dad's.
Okay, yeah. So
From a-
it could
from
be
a-
that then.
From a close family source. And All Eyes,
Oh, that's good to know.
just to clarify, All Eyes, there are numerous Snapchat events and other phone activity going on between 151 and 213. I have that list. I will send it to you from the extraction. So go ahead, Quester.
Okay. Can you put up number 3?
Yep.
Right. Continuing on the theory of the third phone, that would mean that this person, who I call Rogue, was on the bridge. So we need to see if we can find anyone around on that bridge. Now, what I've done here is I've mapped out the Rogue phone when it was used, and then in black underneath, I've mapped out the relevant events, and underneath, sightings, etc., of people. Now, the important one, I believe, is Betsy Blair. She saw the curly-haired, beautiful youth at 1:53. That youth was therefore standing on the bridge when Libby arrived. He did not leave and walk back up the trails. We know that because Betsy Blair saw nobody coming back up. So we have this curly-haired youth on the bridge. Now, I'm assuming here he didn't just turn and run into the woods and disappear. If he didn't come back up the trails and he was already out on the bridge, where would he have gone? There's only one other way, across the bridge. And he's with Libby. And Abby coming up behind. So now we have a look at who this curly-haired person could be. Well, we know Betsy Blair saw 2 girls that looked like Abby and Libby along the trail. I'm surmising that one left, Libby, and the other one stayed. Right. But the one thing that is clear, this youth has become a prime suspect, person of interest, call it what you will, because they were there when Libby was there. It's a good chance they went out on the bridge. And it's a good chance that they were holding the Rogue phone. Which then makes you wonder, why on earth has this youth been completely suppressed out of the picture? The other thing with this youth being there is we know Richard Allen couldn't have been there. He would have had to have barged past the youth and Libby to get out on there. And then somehow Libby would have had to barge past him to get back up to the south end. Awfully convoluted. Richard Allen would have also had to have walked past Abby on the way there. It's getting even messier. He would have also have had to have walked past Betsy Blair, who saw nobody. Even messier, isn't it? There is absolutely no way that Richard Allen could have got through that small time gap. There's no way anybody could have come to that, whoever it was, coming from the trail. But what we are left with is a pretty curly-haired youth. Now, I'm saying youth rather than boy, because pretty curly-haired could be a girl. You stick a bobble hat or whatever on top, big coat, you wouldn't know the difference in the youth. but we know they're pretty and curly haired. And we know that they were there in time. Now, if we assume, therefore, there were 3 youths crossing that bridge, we then have an incredible situation of where we have to assume that this short, pudgy man with a heart condition decided to cross the bridge and abduct 2 girls out of a group of 3. We have no idea what he thought he was doing with the 3rd one, but all 3 of them would have been standing down at the south end with him coming up. That's absolutely insane that he would try to take 3 on.
Well, what if the third person was the young guy that was, according to Betsy Blair, appeared to be waiting for someone? If he was in fact communicating with Abby or Libby, would he possibly be working with the older man?
This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to. Yeah.
Okay.
That 3rd person, it's impossible to believe that anybody, whoever BG was, would try to abduct 2 girls out of a group of 3 and nip off, kill 2, and just let the 3rd one wander off somewhere. Unless number 3 was an accomplice in some way, or at least knew the perp to such a degree that he wasn't going to say anything. Is that where you were going, Amy?
Yes, like they were lured by a younger person, but this younger person was really not who they thought he was.
Yeah, but they obviously trusted him or her. And then along comes the perp behind them.
Mm-hmm.
That could have given him a sense of security. You know, that they knew this other person.
But then we hit a really big issue. Going back to the rogue phone, it's on the same account as Libby's phones. Who would you trust to be on the same account as your phones? It's got to be someone that they really do trust, isn't it?
I have an idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody apart from a family member, and even then I'd be a little bit, well, I don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
There would have to be some serious connection between them to trust that, wouldn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that makes it even nastier that somebody abused that trust in a disgusting, despicable way like this.
I kind of want to, if you don't mind, I kind of want to just give a little bit of feedback on that, because I was
Definitely,
a youth in the Wild West days of the internet, and I thought I was pretty smart. You know, and I was, because no one abducted me. But at the end of the day, like, you think that you're way more confident than you are. And after you start talking with people, especially at that age, you're super impressionable. So if you, like, you're feeling like, oh my God, I met this guy way better than all the guys at my school. I trust him completely because, you know, he knows me better. All that.
Yeah. Nothing can burn you.
You're feeling a little something different.
Well, that's kind of exactly how the communication outside of Bunner and Cecil's reports, that's kind of how the communication was going with Libby and Tyler. Libby was throwing Anthony shots in Tyler's face. That's a conversation that I had with someone who knows. But she was absolutely bragging to this Tyler boy about this guy that she's met, who's got a lot of money, has a lot of cars, he's really good looking, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of what she was doing. Exactly the same.
She was working, Tyler. Yeah. She was trying to work Tyler.
Yeah, she was trying to make
And
him
that's
jump.
we're not trying to shame her or nothing. It's just something, you're that age of getting attention from guys for the first time
Standard
ever.
young teen girl thing. Play them off and
Yeah.
see which one comes up. Yeah.
It's natural.
Mhm.
It's not evil or anything like that. It's what they do. Boys do it as well at that age.
You feel really good too because like there's a dude giving you attention.
Yeah, you got two of them fighting over you.
And and this whole thing is surrounded by Valentine's Day. Young teenage girls all want a boyfriend on Valentine's Day. So it's life. It's normal. Doesn't mean that Libby was, I think Libby was doing some risky things, but in 2017, I can't really remember. Well, I do remember, my youngest was in high school. Even then in 2017, I don't think that parents and kids were well versed in the serious online predators that we are now.
No, I would disagree. It really,
You think
and
so?
honestly, well, it kind of really just depends on how helicopter-y your parents were. Like my husband, he didn't have access to the internet at home until he was like 13 or something. And that wasn't just because they lived rural. It was because his parents were just really old-fashioned. And like but he was a smart dude because he learned how to bypass the firewall at school. So, and he would bring a USB drive to download porn and stuff. So
with all of the felonies and meth and all of that stuff that we know went on in the Patty household and the family members, I don't think that they kept a really tight noose on Libby as far as overseeing her social media interaction.
Yeah, no, I think Kelsey did a lot of the monitoring, or was kind of delegated to her.
Might have been, yeah.
Well, Kelsey and Libby did have an issue between them on parent, didn't they?
They did.
Kelsey wanted to stay with Derek, and Libby wanted to go back to her mother. So there was that friction.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to Carrie about.
I would love to know why Libby I mean, it could be just normal. She just wants to be with her mom while she's growing up. Could also be another environmental factor.
Well, Kelsey to me was a little bit too sticky with the Derek side.
Yeah,
so
guys.
Could have been all sorts of things. Jealousy, not enough freedom. Could have been all sorts of things.
Hey guys, there's only 58 likes on this live. Come on, help me out. All you have to do is like it. There's 160 people watching.
Guilty.
Please like the live. It just helps the algorithm, and it keeps the channel, keeps it moving and expanding. But I have a story to tell about Libby.
Story time.
No, I'll wait until Quester's done.
Fuck you. I mean, no, I love you.
Go ahead, Quester.
Well, I'll cut it a bit short now. So we've got this this youthful person, boy or girl, there. The fact that it's youthful means we can write off a lot of the suspicions. For instance, we can write off Becky Patty, because there's no way she could ever be mistaken for a youthful, pretty youth, could she?
No.
Right.
Don't be mean.
I think you could probably say the same about Tara. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we go by what Baldwin has said, no link to the Patty family, we can write off that phone being Mike's, Cody's, Becky's. Yeah. And then the age, we can start writing off other ones. We can write off an awful lot of it could have been them's, can't we? And we're looking for somebody that both Libby and Abby trusted very much.
honestly, it could have just been one of them. Because I mean, if you have one friend that's a little more dominant over the other, she could pretty much convince you. Because then you feel comfortable
Well,
enough because it's your friend, especially if it's your best
well,
friend.
definitely Libby would have had to really trust them to share her account.
Yeah, that's what
But
I
I
think
agree
it
with
was.
you, Abby. She might have just been going along with her friend. But
Biggie
I guess
Fishy, Biggie Fishy
I,
asked who Tyler is, by the way. Is he a kid? It appears he is a kid. He shows up in the phone data. He was communicating with Libby by text on the night of the 12th. Sorry, the little man's here and he has something to say.
Talks about his parents in there and how his little brother and he can kick his little brother's ass, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure it's a kid.
well, that Tyler presented himself as a youth by talking about being at school, doing some homework, etc.
I think we can also assume. I'm so sorry if I'm talking over you.
Well, I did a reverse lookup on Tyler's phone number that's listed in the extraction, and it comes up to Monticello, which is odd to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
comes
think
up
I think that goes along with the other thing that we can assume, that he was not from the Delphi public school system, because she was like, "Oh, you guys do those too?" to when he was talking about his homework. Which,
definitely, yeah. He didn't know anything about that. So it's either a different school or Tyler was lying.
No, it was Libby who said you guys do those too, because he was telling about his homework.
Yes.
So I feel like that brings
Libby
more
didn't
authenticity to the fact that he might have actually been a real kid.
Possibly, yeah. Or he might have been somebody who knew what was going on in a school.
Yeah, it could have been someone who had a kid.
Yeah.
or he was somebody pretending to be a kid. Because
he's pretending to be his own kid. Because I mean, then you get unlimited pictures, right?
Well, we know that all of those people, minus Daniel Pearson, who were out there on the trail that day, Shelby Hicks, Shelby Duncan, Cheyenne, they're all Monticello people. And according to earlier statements by Cheyenne, Cheryl Loeffler was out there too. Cheryl Loeffler is from Monticello.
And we do know a Tyler that's associated with Cheyenne, Monticello, the Kokomo crew. Don't we?
Well, we also know that
yes, Tyler
in the police record thing, the call logs or whatever it was they were looking for Josh Lank Jr., I believe, and they found him with a kid named Tyler.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Tyler Joe French, who in 2017 was a good looking guy. And he does look a lot like the young rich guy sketch as well.
And he's got a criminal conviction, if I remember right, hasn't he?
Yeah, and his dad's property is right up the creek, which I think I explained. I did when I did the research.
I don't know how close it was.
It's not far. I mean,
he has two buildings on that property. I think you guys only went to one of them.
Well, the one that we went to is the one where there was a trail camera that captured that group of
allegedly
kids. Well, no, according to I believe according to Osbrook, he saw it. I
thought you were talking about the other trail camera.
No, the trail camera from Kevin Combs is Tyler Joe French's stepdad. He's owned that property for years, but all of the research that I've done on Kevin, he owns other properties, and never once did he list that property as his residence. It looked to me to be more of like maybe a hunting shack. I mean, it's not a very big place at all.
There are two buildings on that property, those parcels of land, and one of them's a lot nicer than the other.
Okay, I'm going to have to look at that one.
I'll chuck in another one for you. There was a 2012 Dodge Dart seen at the CPS building with a paper plate. Guess who it was registered to? Tyler. Begins with Tyler.
Which Tyler?
Tyler F.
Tyler Joe French. Where did?
Sorry. My dog was
walking next to me.
When was that? When was the white dart seen at the CPS building? I always
I
thought
haven't got
the lighter colored car at the CPS building was Shelby Hicks's Impala with the 30-day tags.
that was seen at Mears, wasn't it?
Well, I know that was seen by a woman. I have the screenshot where she posted around 3:00. She saw the white vehicle at the Mears on the side of the road, and it had paper plates. But we know, if we remember correctly, Shelby Hicks told on herself at trial. Everybody says, "Give me that baby. Him's mine. Him's my handsome boy. Aren't you my handsome boy? You're my handsome boy, aren't you? Yes,
She's gonna eat you. Be careful."
He's going to smile. He smiles all day. But Shelby Hicks, if you remember, she claimed that she drove there and met Daniel Pearson.
That's correct. Yeah.
And then they left together in his truck because she said that he brought her back and dropped her off. That is why law enforcement wanted to talk to her about her vehicle, because I'm wondering if she moved her vehicle down to the CPS lot and left it while they supposedly took off to Camden and the Amish country.
To bob for apples.
No, he was driving an Impala, and this was a Dodge Dart.
Okay, well, the Dodge Dart was also seen at Tina Rodell's house on the morning of the 12th.
Bobbing for apples, guys. Just my favorite.
And Tina identified members of the Kokomo crew in that car.
Correct. Yep. If anybody has a way, I wonder if, because we have that license plate number, Tina Rodell wrote it on her window because
I've got it.
I wish we had a way to look up who that car was registered to or who that plate belonged to, because I believe that paper plate was being passed around.
Okay, the history of that paper plate, Indiana G908510, expiry 2016, funnily enough. It's had quite a bit of history. At one time, it belonged to Gabe Ellis. He had it on a 2001 Grand Am.
Seriously? And
Yes.
I want to remind everyone, Gabe Ellis was arrested on CCM charges.
Well, he had an underage girl in his car, and he also had trail cams, night vision goggles. I have I actually have the arrest. I think I posted it on my community page a while back. It has an inventory of what was in his trunk, and he had weapons, he had night goggle vision, and he had trail cams in his trunk. And
wait, you're telling me you don't have those things in the back of your car?
Not on any given day. No.
Oh. Babe, empty the car.
Your BG kit. Standard part of the BG kit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You go down the shops, you can get them over the counter. Yeah, there was a car found by law enforcement shortly after, ditched in Kokomo, that had those plates on. So it's got quite a history, those plates.
Communal plates.
Oh, yeah, it's obviously being passed around. All members of the Kokomo crew, funnily enough. What a coincidence.
Well, according to Shelby Hicks's grandfather, Daniel Pearson was out there much earlier than 248, and they had two vehicles.
Oh, and if you think he's young bridge guy, then he's definitely out there much earlier.
Well, I remember the crazy thing is I remember, I've got all ice things. Yeah, I'm more of a stolen fish pump in the trunk of my car kind of gal.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest moments of my life.
Critical thinker we thought we were bringing home the goods, buddy. I'll tell you what, when we went to Tyler Joe French's property, we thought there was a trail cam laying on the back porch, and critical thinker grabbed it. She's like, I'm taking it. I mean, the place was not kept.
There's video of it. Amy sends the picture to me, and I'm like, that's not.
It wasn't a trail cam. It was a freaking aquarium pump.
It was so funny, guys.
It was hilarious. Yeah. Now I wish I would have looked inside the house. But you're thinking, Michael Myers or somebody's going to come jumping out of the woods out there. I mean, it's back in the cut where this property is, and almost the whole back side of the building or the house or whatever you want to call it was wide open with nothing but a blue tarp covering it. And
the trick is to look like you're looking for mushrooms.
Oh my God, I was scared to death. And then we seen other trail cams hanging on a tree. I was like, okay, we got to get out of here. But Julie Melvin,
those trees are getting so much oxygen from those fish pumps.
Oh my God, Julie! I mean, we were pulling in there, and Julie Melvin was trying to jump out of the car before we even stopped. She's like, "This is it! This is it!" And I was like, "Oh shit!" Okay, so let's finish this portion up. Thanks, All Eyes, for outing me again and reminding me how ridiculous that was that we took that thinking it was.
She's doing a service.
Huh?
She's doing a service to the public here.
She is. Are you going to smile, little man, and say hi? Are you going to smile?
FYI, guys, we're going to save my stuff for next time. Just FYI.
So, Quester, let's resume. I'm sorry, we kind of veered off.
Amy, I'm going to dip in and out.
Okay, Fungi.
If Fungi wants to go, she can go for it.
No, I'm staying. I'm just going to dip back in so I can connect my other headphones.
Okay. Well, the point of all this theorizing on these phones is that everything points towards 3 people at the south end of the bridge and 3 phones. And that's what opens the big holes. That third person must be an accomplice. That's assuming they were grabbed there and taken away. But it could also be they were not grabbed there and taken away. If it was all arranged to meet there, what then would happen? I think the fact that there were 3 phones opens up a world of possibilities. And Baldwin confirming that there were 3 is pretty strong stuff. Got any thoughts on it, Amy?
We know that for years, everyone, including law enforcement, well, it came from law enforcement that they thought numerous people were involved. In my opinion, I believe the girls were catfished to go out there and meet someone. I don't believe this was an accidental encounter. And I know that a lot of people believe that in the BG video, Libby is talking to someone as if someone is beside her, or you hear, I know people, I don't have a device. I've listened to it in my car. And I do kind of hear what other people claim they hear, that there is whispering or that Abby is talking to someone. But my other thought too is, and this is just I think it's a motherly instinct that I catch from Libby, is that she almost was following someone's directions. And maybe she was like, how can I, like this adult male. I really can't gauge the age of the bridge guy. I really can't. I don't know if he's in his 20s or if he's in his 40s. I don't know. We see all different kinds of people in Indiana dressed just like BG. But it almost kind of sounds like she was directed to go somewhere. Like she was maybe told, this individual approached them and said, girls, you're not supposed to be on here. Get off the bridge. When you get up here, go down. You're going to have to go a different route. I don't know, because it's definitely a plan when she's talking about there's no path here. We have to go down here. Well, I believe Libby knew where the paths were. Why she was trying to speak like she didn't know, because we know that Libby had crossed the bridge numerous times, and she had been yelled at by Kay Weber before about cutting through their property. So Libby knew where you could go straight across the path. If you got off the south end of the bridge and you just kept walking straight, that would take you right over to Weber's property. She knew that. And I also believe, because she had been out there with Kelsey geocaching, she knew the south end of the bridge and where the hills took you. So why she's saying there's no path here, we have to go down here, there's something that happened that made her say those things out loud. Like she's following someone's instructions. Like, okay, well, they said to go down the hill, though there's no path here, we have to go down here. Well, who's she talking to?
The other thing is, I get the strong impression Abby was not happy with anything from the moment she started sulking in the car. Why did she stay back for what, 7-8 minutes? She doesn't look exactly full of the joys in that 208 picture either, does she?
No, she seems nervous. Well, she's crossing the bridge for the first time. But
I don't believe that. You don't do that with your hands in your pockets walking right by the edge.
That's true. That's true.
I think she's done it before. But she certainly looked like she was in a moody. And we know that she'd put space between her and Libby.
So, yeah, but I guess, and you're right, according to Reese Davis, those were the instruction. That was what Ron Logan said. He told them they were going to go back to his property to see the animals. Oh, sorry, fungi.
No, you totally put your hands in your pocket for that, because what the thing that you're most concerned about is dropping your fucking phone down there.
And we did see that happen when me and Cherie were out there during the trial. And I'll tell you another thing too.
So why would you put your hand in the other pocket as well?
Balance, because you mimic, in order to balance, you do the same thing on each side of your body. It's a natural compulsion.
But if you were nervous, the natural compulsion would be to keep your hands out of your pockets to use for balance and in case you fell.
No, but she is kind of having them extended out a little bit. And the thing is, if she's more worried about the phone at this point, because if she loses grip of the phone, then it's not a big deal because it's still in her pocket. And the thing is, sometimes if a phone can fall out of a pocket. So what you're going to do is you're concerned most about the phone, especially if it's not strictly speaking your phone. Think about that. If it's not strictly speaking your phone, then it's a little bit, you got to have a little more responsibility for that phone. You're like, oh shit, I'm not going to look this gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to make sure I take really, really good care of this thing. So she has this in her pocket and she's holding it the entire time because that's comfort for her, because that's her concern.
Valid point, yeah. But we've still got, we've put a lot of distance
More recently
between her and Libby almost from the moment they got out the car.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some weird shit, but I was a teenage girl a lot more recently than you were, Quester. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
You never know. I might be one of those.
we played Charlie Murphy on X. Basically, like pulled out all of the sounds in the BG video, and being there, I can tell you that you're not close enough to the highway and you're not close enough to 300 to hear a motor, and you absolutely hear a motor like an ATV motor in that BG video. If you go to Charlie Murphy's X page, he's got the audio up, and it's very prevalent.
Do you hear anything Abby's saying on it?
In the beginning, you can kind of hear some stuff.
You hear her say, "Don't leave me
You
up
can see her
here."
mouth. Yeah, you can see her mouth move too. Is the other thing.
Yeah, she said, "Don't leave me up here." And then to me, it sounds something to the effect, "Is he coming or is he back there?" So this older person, maybe it could have been Ron Logan. But why would Abby say, "Is he still back there?" Like if they're going with Ron Logan to his property.
The first question I'd ask is, where is back there? Is it back there behind her or back there behind Libby?
Well, she can't see behind herself, but she can see behind Libby because Libby's facing her. It's probably referring to BG.
If BG came from the south end of the bridge, that would explain he's off, he's off. And that was where I was going when I brought up my point when me and Cherie were out there and we watched this couple climb over the railing. They were going to take flowers over to the south end of the bridge. And,
I wish you had filmed it.
Oh my gosh. What I was going to say is once they got almost to the south end of the bridge, we couldn't see them. I'm like, did they go? We were like, where did they go? Did they go down the hill? And when they started to come back, it took us they just kind of like appeared out of nowhere. And she had on a bright pink shirt, like a hot pink shirt. So I seen her coming first, but then like halfway across the bridge, she slipped and fell, and like her legs straddled one of the bridge ties. And
did she die?
No, she dropped her
phone.
Okay. She dropped her phone through the rails, and her husband or whoever he was had to turn around and go back down the south end of the bridge and down the hill underneath them. And luckily they hadn't gotten far enough across the bridge where they were over top of water. So her phone fell to dry ground.
In the comments, Hardy Holly has said, Abby said, Libby, somebody behind you.
Well,
yeah, we'll have to relook at that. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, I wish I had the editing software to enhance or.
Honey, DaVinci Resolve has that too.
Yeah.
So I told you I can get you a copy, but you gotta commit to it because it's my only other key. You gotta commit to learning DaVinci Resolve if you want me to give you a key, because like it's really expensive and I only have one other key.
Well, we need to do a learning set. You need to do a what do you call that? A tutorial with me.
YouTube is your tutorial.
Well, I can do that too. But I just need to be able to play with it.
That's how I learned.
Okay.
As people are mentioning BG a fair bit, that's not something I really hit on what I presented. So I would just point out that if there were 3 youths and one of them was an accomplice, that would mean that person knew BG. Yeah.
Correct.
It would also mean that BG would have to have an infinite amount of trust, and vice versa with this third person.
Or that person is something on BG.
Well, and
they could possibly be related, father, son, father, daughter, whatever, couldn't they?
Well, we know Josh Lank Jr. is somebody who was reportedly invited to be out there with the girls. Brett is his father. Brett Sandefur.
And he was with Tyler when they were found.
And Josh Lank sold, I have it in the vault. I think it's like in the first 3 vault episodes, photograph of.
And do you
Josh
recall that the rumors of how many people were at Ron Logan's for the party overnight?
Correct, yes.
Everyone.
The Lanks were supposed to have been there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Josh Lank Jr. sold a backpack and a knife a day or 2 after the murders. And I have the photograph of the ad that he placed.
Wait, I thought that was Bryden Snowberger. I'm sorry.
No. That was Josh Lank Jr.
Too many people.
And Josh Lank Sr. was tied up with Tara, wasn't he?
No, wait a minute. I'm wrong. Okay, Brett Sandefur's son. Who is Brett Sandefur's son? Is it Josh?
I think Bryden.
Brandon, wasn't it?
Bryden.
Bryden.
I have
Something
to,
like that,
yeah. It's not.
I have. No. That's Josh Link Sr.'s son. Is Josh Link Jr.
Correct. So it's Sandefur's son who sold the knife in the backpack. And then Brett Sandefur had an old, like, custom car that was like a light silver color that he put up for sale right after the murders as well.
Well, Josh Lank Sr. was emotionally involved with Tara, who was best auntie ever, etc.
Amy, remind me to tell you about something later tonight
in a good
regarding
place to know
Sandefur.
what is going on.
Bryden, you're right. Okay, yes, it is Bryden Sandefur. Bryden Sandefur is the one who sold the knife in the backpack. And if you remember correctly, what's his name? Officer Kim was putting out notifications that they were looking for a backpack. And Skin Rose said, and Brett Sandefur's car looked exactly like a Mercury Comet, which is what Betsy Blair claimed that she saw at the CPS building.
Those people who are convinced that Ron Logan was BG, bear in mind that if the Lanks are going to parties at Ron's, they probably knew him well as well. It all goes round in circles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have no idea. It's sad. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy,
isn't it?
It's crazy.
There's too many coincidences in this case. Too many connections.
But there's no nexuses, everyone. No nexuses.
None.
Well, Tara arrived at Becky Patty's just before the girls left. So Tara knew when they left. You can follow that trail.
Big J, what do you say? No, I think that's wrong too about the car, madam. Which car?
Someone called it a Merc Comet. No, it's not a Merc.
No, it's not a Merc, but it looks similar. It's an older style car. I have a picture of it. I have a picture of the ad where he put it up for sale.
I really like the use of madam there, though. I think that was pretty spot. That was pretty good manners.
It's Madame. Yes. Madam would be the leader of one of those houses.
Buster, we haven't gotten to your part of this where you have to say a funny word yet. Okay, this is not the time.
Oh dear.
Oh, you just wait.
Think of a good one. All right.
Oh no, I thought of you. No, this one's going to be like a weird place in Ohio that even I have a hard time pronouncing.
Which is where?
Olentangy.
Olentangy?
Tangy, whatever it is, yeah. I think that's hilarious.
That's got to be an Indian name.
I have no clue. I used to live in Ontonagon. People would call it Ontogonan. I'd be like, you guys are just hurts me to hear. That was Ontonagon is, I believe, Ojibwa for my bowl is lost, because the story goes that at the mouth of the Ontonagon River, a young girl was trying to fill up or clean her bowl in the river, and it kind of swept away, and she said, my bowl is lost. I don't think that's actually what it means, but that's what people like to say. Fun fact.
So, Quester, do we need to finish this, or have you
Yeah,
completed it?
Yeah, I think that's finished.
Amy, I think you should give them a little bit of the preview for next week for what I will present, because I think it's going to be an interesting thing to ruminate on.
Okay. So, we're not going to do it today. We were going to, but Fungi only has a certain amount of daylight, and she's got chores to do, you know. I
have a very long driveway. It needs to be plowed. But yeah, I really want to see what people say about just the image. If you could just tease it a little bit.
Okay, so what we're going to go over next week is, oh, hold on, let me pull it. I've got it. I must have
It's a big thing, guys. This is a big one. I'm super excited.
Okay, so one of the biggest hangups that I've had with the Ron Logan story was what Reese was told about how they got Libby back down to the crime scene. And so let me see here. So if you look closely at this image, when we were there,
I can explain too.
When we were there, we came down from the cemetery, and the terrain, and you can see it on this image, the terrain was very crazy. It was hard to get down. But Fungi has done some research on this better than what I could on Google Earth. And she has found a path that leads from Ron Logan's backyard to the crime scene. And I'll let you, well, my goodness sakes almighty. What some heck is that?
My goodness. Yeah, because the baby decided wanted your attention more than this. Anyway, now you're gonna listen to another baby speak, and that's me. So anyways, you can see that I have a couple. You see that cyan, or I guess bright blue sort of ish color. That is just showing that's where Ron Logan's home is on the LiDAR scan, which is the weirdly green toned image, versus this actual satellite image of the area. So I just want
Fungi, you're cutting out
in picture, but shit. This is not a zoomed in picture necessarily. But what it shows is, see those little arrows on the right? That's the path. And right next to it, you can see like a little kind of darker indentation, because that's a well-worn path. And you can see it spills right into the crime scene. We know it is not a natural drainage point because we don't see any sort of branching off paths that go into that large ravine next to it. So we can kind of cross that off. We know this is a man-made path. The other area that's that Amy just kind of covered up with that piece was just me asking, okay, Amy, was this sort of the path that you took up to the cemetery on your way back up? Because I was just kind of like, fact checking myself and being like, is this traversable? So turns out yes.
No,
anyways,
actually, we didn't take. We took so when you're looking up here and you see the square image where that's marked cemetery. So when we came in off of 300, we pulled in to the back corner here, which the left corner looking at the screen. Okay. We got out of the car and we came down this way. We came across behind the cemetery.
I can't see a mouse.
And started to go down. I'm sorry. I'm
It's okay. No, I just didn't want you to act like you were seeing things.
So we got out of the car and we went down this little like divot in between the fence, because they have a fence up there now, but there's a way to get through. So looking at this image, we were parked in the right bottom hand corner of the cemetery, but we walked a little bit. When we came down that little hill, we walked over to about the middle of the back of the cemetery and went down. And so that's where that treacherous terrain, you see, we encountered getting down to the crime scene.
And that used to be the old gravel pit / stone quarry / whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's multiple names for it on the maps.
And when you look at the video because I videotape us going, that gravel pit that she's talking about, that's where all of the trash and debris is dumped behind the cemetery.
Completely normal thing to do, by the way, in rural areas. When I lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, you could go over a certain ravine and there were literally 4 cars from the 1920s back there. It was amazing. And I found some really cool jars, and you can make a lot of money if you can salvage those things.
Yeah, there was a lot. You can see, I have on the video, you can see the debris, but we came down at an angle. We went right through that treacherous, like gravel dipping area, down this big steep hill to get to the crime scene. And then once we got down to the flatland, we had to walk over towards the south to get to the crime scene. When we left, if you look at where the crime scene is, the red circle, we went straight up from there and to the left to go back. And we ended up right here at the back right-hand corner of the cemetery.
So you still can't see your mouse as far as I'm concerned, but does it follow at all the little arrows, kind of at least one of these paths, variations of the path I made?
Yes, on the left-hand side of the image, all of that squiggly path is roughly around the areas that we went up and down. But that's what I was confirming. So we didn't go to the right toward Ron Logan's, because there's quite a big field between the cemetery and Logan. So I wasn't aware that there was a path.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I wasn't aware that there was a path directly from Logan's. I thought that they were cutting over through the field towards the cemetery to get down to the crime scene area from Logan's. But go ahead. I'll stop talking now.
You're good, girl. I'm like all like in my gear right now. So like as soon as we end this, I'm just gonna go out. So I think the fact that you didn't see it says something about the terrain, perhaps the kind of visibility of this path, because that's something that Amy was like, well, if you're going to take one, she's like, okay, is this wide enough? And so I'll show you guys next time, but I basically on Google Earth, I basically said, this is 10 feet, this is 15 feet, and the path spans like 15, maybe even. It's a very wide-ish path, like this indentation in the ground. I'm not saying it's like a open path like that. I'm saying that at least in the LiDAR, we can tell that, it was a wide trail overall, like historically. Which, I mean, that'd be like good enough for an ATV. That'd be good enough for a wagon. That'd be good enough. I mean, a horse and buggy, maybe even, a car. I don't know. But the other thing she was like, okay, but people from the cemetery, are they going to or if they're looking, on the other side of the cemetery, and they're looking around, the bridge area on the north side of the creek, are they going to be able to see a group of people, or one or two at least, coming down this freaking hill with a wheelbarrow? And that's what I explored this time. And I think you guys will like the results next week.
You want me to go to this one?
So this is but we could just say, so this is the results. Because I took basically the hypothetical. So it's interesting spelling. But I like it. It's very so I took each of these places. So the blue markers, you can see a little person on them. Those little people represent possibly a place a searcher could go. And I wanted to kind of spread it out just to kind of like figure it out. And then I also took these A, B, C, and D, these points. And then I took the CS, which is the crime scene. And I took each of the blue points and I drew a straight line to A, B, C, and D and CS. And then I made, and you'll see this next week, I made basically I made graphs out of the elevation straight line data. And what that can tell us is, can someone who was standing at point 1, 2, 3, or 4 have seen what was going on at A, B, C, D, or CS? And like in terms of like, is there going to be topography in the middle? Is it going to be like, is there going to be like enough of an elevation change in between that it's going to completely block you from seeing that? And the red lines here represent that, yes, there is a pretty determinable, pretty solid elevation blockage. The green lines are no, you could probably see that. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing if you consider where people may have stopped searching, like where they may have turned around due to some topography, where they may have felt that, oh, I'm up high, I can see enough, but didn't see particular spots. So I think this is kind of interesting. And I will go into it. I will show you all the graphs next week. I have them all ready for y'all. I've got a few other things too, because I also wanted to show you guys the sight lines from the bridge to show you what would have been visible if you were standing on the bridge. Could you have seen the crime scene? Could you have seen certain places? So I think you guys will find that extremely compelling, because I think it allows us to kind of say, okay, what could people have seen? What could the searchers have seen? Who might be a little sus here and completely full of shit? When maybe could the girls' bodies have been placed there? If if we know that everyone was in this area at the time, then they would have had an opening. So I think that we can kind of apply this data to that. Anyways, I need to go destroy.
Okay. I will see you later.
Oh no! Do you have any questions? Do you guys have any questions? Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to throw out there that I've always said that I felt that Logan's property was utilized in this crime, one way or another. I've always felt
whether knowing, unknowing, yeah,
right. And I've always felt that the south end of the bridge was the exit, going further south. I don't believe that bridge guy went back through the trails. I don't believe he walked down 300. And I even made a comment, you can probably hear it in one of the videos, where me and Julie are walking down the Mary Gerard trail, and we're cutting down through the woods to the creek. And I literally made the comment like, holy shit, the killer could have hid out here anywhere in the dead of night. There's so many crevices and ditches and whatnot. I mean, in the dark, they could have hid. But I know that I'm going to say it emphatically, and if critical thinker still in here too, she'll probably agree with me, that standing at the crime scene, I had, number one, full cell service. I even took a phone call while I was there, and I was shocked at how close to the creek the bodies were. And if anybody was walking along that creek's edge, looking across, there's no doubt in my mind that they could see the girls. If they were directly across the street, not across the street, but across the creek from the crime scene, I believe they would have been seen.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun next week, because I'm going to also post the links to the LiDAR maps so everyone else can take a look at them. All the different kind of versions of like the slope percentage, steepness percentage maps too, that kind of go with those. I think that you guys will really like these, but we're gonna have to save that to next week because I really want to deep dive them.
All right, well that sounds good. I think we've covered everything that we're going to cover this week.
Quester, say Olentangy or whatever.
Say what?
You said, say what?
It's not what I said. You know what I said.
I'm not quite sure I do know what you said.
Don't be thick with me.
Old and cranky or something, was it?
That's good enough for me, actually. You know what? That was actually pretty good enough. It's better than my first time trying to say that word. Can you say Antanagan for me?
Antanagan?
That's such a delightful way to say it. Okay.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all.
Yeah, weird. Look at how snowy my world is.
What's all that white stuff?
My world kind of
Cocaine.
looks like that.
Yeah, right.
No, it does. It really does. I'll send you a picture of my backyard. Everything's covered.
All right. If you can still see the grass, if your road still, you can still see the pavement of the road, you are not in winter yet.
Oh no, you could.
Oh, you agree?
Covered. It was covered, we don't see grass in the backyard right now. What are you telling? Are you telling?
Okay,
them
all right.
Are you telling them? Say
Wait,
free Rick
what do you want to
Allen.
know?
Say free Rick Allen. My Mimi says.
Watch, that'll be his first words. Those will be his first words, and your daughter's going to be like, "Are you serious?"
If I can get one of my kids or one of my grandkids arrested in true crime, I'll be happy. I can't get them. So.
Love it.
Oh, I'm a wreck
right.
today. Look at me. Good Lord. Sorry, guys, but it is what it is. So, do you have to go right now, Fungi?
I can keep listening. I'm going to be doing less talking unless you guys want to see my birds really quick. I can't see the chat right now, so you're just going to have to tell me.
Yeah, we'll see the birds really quick. You want to see the chickens?
Okay, one sec. I might be switching.
And then I have a story to tell that I
mobile. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got to get my power brick out, too, because my phone, I was really smart. Oh, yay, my dog pooped right in the path. Thanks, Tony.
You have no filter.
No, I don't. It's okay. I mean, I thought that's what you loved me for. No, it's probably just
I do you.
the weird resources.
Yes.
All right, we're walking to the coop.
Show the walk. Say, show the walk.
Fine. Okay, one sec. Let's facing front or back?
Up now, we just lost her. Fungi, come back. When she comes back, we're going to see chickens. But in the meantime, do you guys want me to tell the story today, or do you want me to wait until next week? There she is.
Here we go. Can you hear me still?
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Awesome. Sorry. All right. We're going in. You can hear them actually right now. One sec. I got to shovel this. Hi, guys. Make some squawks.
You love your flock, don't you?
They're all right. It makes good egg. Say hi, Booger. Oh, thank you. That's my glove. Nothing. I have nothing for you. What disappointment. That's which one's BG? This one's BG right here. Wait, where's my right? Wait, my nine. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. Oh. This is BG Ouija. I call her Beejums or Beej, but that sounds really kind of lewd when I call her Beej. So I'll say hi to Trevor. This is Trevor.
What's up, Trevor? Trevor's the man.
Yeah, I mean, he was almost Stu, but last year, but yeah. Well, we'll see if he makes it through this summer. Anyways, do you like the chickens, Kai?
Hims does. Hims looking. He's looking.
Oh. This is Oddball. She's the meanest hen on earth. She's such a biatch. She's really pretty though. I really love her. Or no, that's not oddball. That's Blackie 2. We never named her. That used to be, the other one used to be Blackie 1. We named her Oddball. This other one's Blackie 2. We just never decided to rename her. So.
Now they're talking.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Who do you think is? Do you think Richard Allen is guilty? Booger has strong opinions. Free Rick Allen? All right. Anyways, thank you for joining me on Chicken Chat.
All right.
Remember, if we get to 5,000 subscribers, Amy is going to wear a chicken mask for an entire stream.
She's telling lies, everybody. She's telling lies. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Story time.
She didn't know that, but now she does. Yeah.
I don't know if I've told this story or not before, but it just because we were talking about the young male on the bridge with the girls, it reminded me, and I just feel like I've held back on this story for quite a while. Have I ever told the story about Anna going over to the Patties? Quester and Fungi, I think I've told you about it, but I don't think I've ever discussed it publicly.
I don't think you have.
Kai says, don't do it, Mimi. Don't do it. Don't tell it. Should I keep my mouth shut, or is it too late?
Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. And I was like, okay.
Okay, so no.
They're really upset with me now, though. I love them so much, Amy. You have no idea. Okay, anyways, it's getting windy out here. See ya. Love you. Bye. Quester,
right,
thank you. I think about you every time I go to the hardware store.
Get another spanner.
Just be a wrench.
All right, girl. I'll talk
Awesome.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
How the fuck do I get out of here? It says leave studio. I'm keep hitting leave studio.
Just hit.
Are we gonna ever leave studio? No.
Okay, so here's the story. And this, I do have a recording of this, which I cannot play. Sorry, guys. But this kind of comes directly from the source. Fungi, mute your mic. I'm getting static. So anyway, this person. Okay, so after the murders, Anna Williams was dating a guy, and it's kind of a complicated story, but they were at a bar, and the boyfriend went to the bathroom, and while he was in the bathroom, his phone rang, and Anna answered it, and it was the boyfriend's aunt, I believe. Anna had been drinking, and Anna was just chatting with her, like, he's in the bathroom, we're here, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, this person was told by Anna. Now, I'm just telling you, this is hearsay. I mean, I have heard the recording. It is what was said. Don't know if it was a made-up story, but this is what this person claimed. Now, hey, what's some heck? What's some heck? But this person, this aunt, doesn't know the Patties. Doesn't really know. I mean, she knew about the murders, but she doesn't know the Patties. She just knew that Anna's daughter had been murdered. So Anna starts telling the story that she was going through all of Abby's stuff at home, and she came across a note that Abby had written, or that Libby had written Abby. And the aunt said that the note read that Libby was claiming that she thinks she might be pregnant, and that the dad would be Cody. Now, the aunt, to say this, had no idea what the significance was of the name Cody, who that was in this framework of the family structure. Then, now it wasn't that she was pregnant, it was that she might be, is the way that I understood the statement to be written. But apparently Anna took the letter and went over to the Patties and basically confronted them and said, I think that you need to be made aware of this. And she was told that that was family business and to get off their property and never come back. So, and it's my understanding as well that it wasn't long after that that Cody was, I believed, kicked out of the Patty's house. So that's the story. And yes, that was a rumor that was ignored, but that's where the rumor came. That's where it started, I believe. And supposedly this person got it straight from Anna. But Anna was drinking at the time. So I don't know if that's why the story came out or if the story was misconstrued in the telling of it. I don't know how true it is. But I know that for a long time after the murders, there was a rift between the Patties. And I think that was very noticeable for quite some time. So anywho, I think that's it, guys. Quester, do you have anything else to add?
Nothing at the moment, I think.
Okay, well, we will let everybody go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. My little man's getting a little fussy. He needs changed, and he's probably tired of looking at this computer. But he's been very good, actually. Haven't you been so good? You've just been so good. You're going to say bye? Yeah, say bye, everybody. Okay, you're
Getting
right.
big, isn't he?
He is getting big. Yes, he's 5 months now. He's a hunk. Yep, he's rolling over, trying to sit up, and he's the happiest. See, I am the happiest baby ever. He wakes up smiling. He's a talker. He's a great little guy, huh? And he's getting ready to have his first Christmas. So, all right, guys. Well, we will see you next Sunday, same time, same place. Please hit the like on the way out. Share the video. You have it at the very top of the chat here. I posted the link to the Facebook group. These diagrams that Quester created and the presentation, the PDF, will be in the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that and you want the skinny, it's all there. So appreciate you guys for being here, and all of you religious watchers. I so appreciate you. Appreciate you, Quester. Appreciate you, Fungi, and all of the efforts and hard work that we've collectively done together. It's just, we're a nice little trio, I think.
I'll leave one little message for everyone. If you disagree with anything we put up here, speak. Tell us what you think. You never know, you might be right.
And a lot of what we discussed today were theories, trying to make sense of the phone data. And that's all we've got to work with until maybe one day all of the truth comes out. So we're just trying to keep this case alive the best way that we can. Also, I have an interview that I'm doing tomorrow if they don't back out. It's a very important interview, and I believe she has agreed to come on to be interviewed. This is a mother who has been dealing with some really crazy things because her son is a Vinlander. She reached out to Critical Thinker, got her in contact with me. So I'm set to interview her tomorrow. If I can get her to come on. She said she wants to tell her story, so we'll see. And then I also have another person that I'll be scheduling a live with, who is going to come on and talk about her local family and why she thinks there's connections and ties to this case with them. So stay tuned for that. Once we get a time worked out, I'll get it posted. And keep checking out. We've got Terry doing the missing and unsolved cases through the week. I'm doing my research on the Gilgo Beach murders and the Shannon Gilbert case. I'm putting together my own Google Earth map of that case because, Rex Heuermann is supposed to be going to trial. Not sure if he's going to make it there before he pleads guilty, but I'm not convinced that all of the victims are his. So I think it's a good time to start covering it because that case is going to heat up. And so going to start adding more content. I'm trying to add a new day of the week. It's not the stars aren't in my favor right now. I need an 8th or even a 9th day of the week to get all this done. Or I need to quit my job and stay and do YouTube full time. That's just not feasibly possible right now. So say no. So, well, thanks everybody for being here. Quester, I will talk to you later. Everybody, thank you again. Enjoy your Sunday, and we will see you next time. Bye.